The Danelectro FAB Echo pedal is a delay pedal locked in slapback time. The pedal is built in a seemingly somewhat thin plastic enclosure and has active switching. I'm unsure if the pedal is buffered or not. The pedal can optionally be 9-volt battery powered or 9-volt DC powered and has a convenient single screw to access the battery compartment. The FAB line of pedals was originally released in 2005, but it is seemingly unclear on when they were discontinued. This pedal is selling for an average of $30 and a low of $20 to $25 on Reverb at the time of this recording. As a slight insight to the price, I have been watching many Danelectro pedals for a few years now, and the price has been slowly inclining. Hello everyone, and today we're going to be talking about the Danelectro FAB Tone Echo pedal. And so this pedal's a bit strange. What it is it's a delay pedal. However, it's not a normal delay pedal because it's locked as a slapback delay. Very strange, especially that I don't exactly understand slapback delay. However, it still has the repeats control and it has a mix control, so you can get some very interesting effects from it still. So I'm going to attempt to try and demo this. Hopefully it'll be a shorter video, but it never turns out that way. So let's get right into it. We're going to be playing with a Squier Stratocaster. This one is tuned a half step down from drop D. This is one of my favorite tunings lately, so this is what we're going to play with. Since it's a modulation, you don't have to really understand how the sonics of it sound, you just have to understand how it works. Though I suspect you're not really going to want to use this pedal as a tour pedal because it's made of plastic, and these are getting they're not quite old, but they're getting up there in age. So let's turn on the effect. Another thing to note is that the knobs on this are kind of backwards, because at least to me they are. So when you're looking face down at the pedal from, the player's perspective, if you turn the knob to the right, it is going to turn the effect down. So here we go, we're going to turn everything down. We're going to turn both the effects down and see how it works at the minimum levels. Another weird little design decision that they made is that they made the LED blue. Just a little weird thing. It's kind of striking against the red enclosure. Another small thing you have to look out for is I think that the distortion of the FAB tone is also in the red enclosure. So the only way to tell them apart, I think there might be a third control in the distortion, and there's the front label, which it'll say clearly distortion or echo under the big FAB logo. Which, keep in mind, the FAB logo is not indented in there or anything. It is purely a sticker. So try not to peel that off. Oh, I suppose. All right, I had some amp reverb on, and that'll kind of make it'll mess up the effect of the pedal. It won't mess it up, but it's gonna make it different because it kind of has its own reverby thing going on sometimes. So as you can hear, there's nothing going on with the knobs all the way down. Let's just turn them both to middle right now. Sorry, I have to keep putting the guitar down because it's hard to orient this. That's another kind of gripe I have with these pedals, is that they're kind of hard to, really control because it's just a strange pedal shape. And that's why we have a bit of a strange angle on the pedal cam as well. Okay, so we have 50% repeats and 50% mix. So we're gonna get a faint volume of the repeats, and I don't know how many repeats we're gonna get. So it's right now, it sounds like it's just a very slight reverberation, like a very small room reverberation. I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so there's nothing too much, there's nothing really happening right now. let's just be honest. Let's just turn up the mix and see if we can hear something a little bit better if we have the mix all the way up. Oh, wow, so now you can really hear it. Let's turn the mix down to about 75%. I'm not sure if I'm going to get really around there. That's why we have the pedal cam. I also can't see the freaking knob. So we have a very faint kind of reverb happening because of that slight delay that's happening right now with the slapback. But it's kind of a warbly delay because it has to keep happening. So that's another thing that's really cool about this, is that it almost has a spring reverb drip kind of thing going on. Not quite, but it's kind of there. So, I watched this guy called 60 Cycle Hum, and he's always going on about the surf reverb drip sound, so it gets kinda close, but it's still, you know, it's not, I'm sure he would be like, it's not good enough, because he's really into it. Let's just go whole hog, and we're just gonna turn everything all the way up. Because this is where I really like to do that muted thing I was just doing. This is where the effect really, to me, shines, because it just makes it interesting. Because I don't really like slapback delay. I don't really use delay either way, so this is where I just find it more interesting. So yeah, that's one of the interesting things that I've found to do with this pedal, because I don't know, I've had to kind of look outside the box a little bit, trying to figure out what the heck to do with this pedal, because playing normally, while it does sound different, it's not quite the sound that that a lot of people would use, especially not for many songs. So yeah, it's it's kind of hard to justify this effect, other than it's fairly low price. Another thing to note is that the price on the Danelectro, on all the Danelectro pedals, are kind of going up, because Danelectro as a brand is kind of falling out of style, yet there is still, it's fallen out of style because they also they make some pedals but not enough of these ones, especially the really cool ones like these classic affordable effects. So then now people still like them, and I like this, and people love the style. I like the style of them. The problem with the Danelectro pedals is that they couldn't stay in business because they were not the working musician's pedal, because for these ones you have the affordable effects and the plastic enclosure, so they're not exactly repeatably buyable, and they're kind of inconvenient with the top knobs. So, you know, you can't really put that on a pedal board. Their original effects were in this big die-cast enclosure, and that was not pedal board friendly. And then you have the Food series, which are
very similar to the big die-cast ones, and they're made very small, but I think they're still made in the plastic ones, so, you know, it seems like you just couldn't win in terms of getting big names to use Danelectro, you know? So, if you really wanted to use a Danelectro, you had to want it, but I don't think any of their effects were truly different enough to warrant being on a board, and if they were different enough, they were too different for a lot of people to use. Another way to use this pedal that I found, this is how I found it when I originally got the pedal, was I was just sitting here messing with it. And so I'm also a drummer. So I just started, you know, I don't know how I got to this point, but I started whacking. Because there's that rhythm to it. So somehow I started getting into that rhythm where I'm just in here. So that makes it kind of interesting, and then you can kind of try and start doing a slap style playing as well. So, yeah, the guitar is not exactly a slap instrument, and I am not the greatest at it, as you can tell. The farther up the neck you go, you know, you get a little less clarity on that slap noise, or, well, not the noise, but, you know, the notes. I forgot to do this during the video, but, I don't mean to brag, but, he has the box.
He has the box.
There's not a whole lot more to say. Because this is going to be a somewhat shorter video, I'm going to try something I've never tried before, and I'm going to go on the acoustic setting of my Boss Katana. I'm going to try playing some acoustic guitar, with the pedal, of course. Now, I never set up an acoustic preset on my amp here, so I don't know what's going to be included on it, if anything. I think it's just going to... I obviously just switched it, so I don't think anything's going to be activated that shouldn't be. So we've turned back the pedal a bit, try and get it a little more normally, because I don't even know how this is going to turn out sound-wise. I haven't even tuned. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm doing the wrong thing. I accidentally tuned that D to the right thing while I was twisting the wrong knob. Look at that. Wrong tuning peg. My battery light just came on. This is unfortunate. Can't even figure out what the hell it's doing. The one time I'm gonna use the electric function on this thing and it's gotta die. Turn this off. Oh my god, of course. Alright, so we're getting a distortion kind of fuzz from our dying battery fisherman frickin', you know, piezo whatever. I don't even know how much sound is actually coming through on that. It's hard, I can't hear the amp over the acoustic guitar right now, so... I don't even know if I have another battery. Alright, well, you can't say I didn't try. Okay, so, is this pedal interesting? Yes. Should you buy it? Well, that's really up to you. If you like slapback, obviously this is probably a great find, especially if you want to use this as like a studio tool. However, if you become accustomed to the sound, it might not be the pedal for you because you can't exactly go touring with it, and even if you do and it breaks, you're out of luck because it's not an in-production pedal and it hasn't been for a long time. It's still not expensive on the used market, but it's getting there, and you know, if you're out on the road, it's kind of hard to get another one unless you have a backup. So, I don't know. This pedal is cool, and the pedal, if you think you like it, you should try and get one somewhat soon, because the price on like I said before, on the Danelectro pedals have been going up very slowly since my time watching it, which has been for a few years now, maybe 3, and they've been not going up a lot, but very slowly. So yeah, these things used to be like $20 pedals. You might be able to find them for 20 still, but some people have brought them up to like 40, so be aware of that. It's hard for me to not recommend a pedal, but I just don't see using this all the time, because, you know, it's not a bad pedal. It's just unfortunate that it has to be in this enclosure and discontinued. Some people do re-enclose them in metal enclosures, but, you know, that's a little bit of a hassle, so you have to really want it to do that, and you're kind of defacing history. Whenever I see people do that, I slightly dislike it, because, you know, it's just like, there's only so many of these that are going to be around. So, personally, in my morals, I'd prefer not to, but it's, you know, it's your decision. So that's all I have to say. If you enjoy looking at guitar pedals like this, or, you know, lots of different guitar pedals, I try and get a video out every week. Every other week is a guitar pedal or a review on a guitar related subject, and then every other week is something a little different. At least I try to have a little variation, because I also do drum content. We've been doing some 3D printer videos, and soon I'm going to try and do a video about how 3D printing can help with your musicianship, is what I'm trying to say, but I'm trying to think of a better way to say it that'll be better. Very good with words. So, if you think that sounds good, please consider liking and subscribing, and for now, I'm going to say bye-bye.